Welcome to True Image Fitness. Here is your host, the guru of motivation, Vance McDaniel.
Hey, what's going on, Fit Fam? This is Vance McDaniel coming at you live from True Image Fitness. I'm sorry, I'm cracking up because there's nothing more frustrating than lighting in the studio. Like, I got this whole new backdrop and lighting and stuff like that. I've moved the backdrop a few feet back, and so I've got to get the lighting right. The lighting's still wrong, so I totally apologize for that. I'm just sitting here cracking up because for those of you, my friends in Hollywood, know how important lighting is and all that good stuff. Now that we've got the audio, it's just cracking me up. I'm just freaking. I'm sitting here going, you know what? Fine, forget about it. Just record the video. And so we're just gonna record the video today. Anyway, so for those of you who participated, I'm sorry, I'm cracking myself up. For those of you who have participated in the post today on my shopping cart, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know, give you a quick update. You guys watched my heart vlog the other day, I'm sure. But anyway, still working on that. I don't go back to the doctor till the 19th, so I got 7 days before I go back in. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing the procedure that day when they zap my thyroid with radiation and totally obliterate the darn thing. I'm having some reservations on that. Anybody that has any information on thyroid treatments, I have a hyperthyroid, which is making my heart beat too fast. If you have any information, please shoot it over to me. If there's some alternative treatments I can look into. I'm starting to have a little bit of trepidation when it comes to totally irradiating my thyroid and having to be on T3 for the rest of my life. I don't know. I would like to avoid it if all possible, but I don't know. Anybody got any information? Send it over to me. We'll check it out. Anyway, so let's talk about nutrition. My shopping cart. Now, there are some comments made about my creamer, which is sugar-free. So I don't drink a ton of coffee. The sugar-free stuff, so first of all, let me say this. My first concern when it comes to my clients is the being overweight part. Being overweight is one of the number one killers of Americans in the country, and weight-related issues. That's the number one killer. So when people first come to me, I don't worry about whether or not they use a little bit of coffee creamer or if they use a sweetener substitute versus eating sugar. Those things are not the first things on my list. The first thing on my list is to get the body fat off of their bodies. That's the first thing. Because to be honest, for the most part, unless a person is hypersensitive to something, those other things are not going to become issues. So what I say to people is, let's focus on the body weight first. Then if we want to get into the nitty gritty and specifics, potential things like inflammation, celiac disease. But if a person's suffering from issues of celiac disease, that's natural disease, we can get into that because that's a matter of cutting gluten out. But there are certain things that I don't focus on first. They are second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. It's about getting the body fat off the body. It's about getting conditioned first. If a person is 50 pounds overweight, I'm not going to worry about them eating bell peppers because the bell peppers isn't their major problem. I'm not going to worry about them eating some sugar-free creamer in their coffee right away. But I will focus on if there's any calorie uptake at all, because the first thing I want them to learn is how to eat right and really get in control of their body composition. As we move forward, and it's just like with personal training, the first thing I don't worry about is whether a person can do 100 sit-ups or whether they can do 100 pull-ups. The first thing I worry about is getting them conditioned first, and then we do things in steps. If a person comes to me during a consultation and I do ask, is inflammation a concern? Is it something that you feel like you're dealing with? Are you dealing with any pain in your joints? There's a series of questions that I ask when I consult with people. because there are some potential problems. And I also want people to be comfortable. So while nutrition is super duper important, there are levels of working on nutrition and body composition and physical conditioning that you must do in order. If you are 60, 70 pounds overweight, I guarantee you're not overweight because you're eating one or two particular foods. If it was that simple, everybody would be in shape. So we take things in steps. And the first thing is we worry about body composition. And the other thing is this, and all of my clients know, and some of my clients have already commented, and my clients' confidentiality is number one. So if my clients want to speak up and out themselves, they can do that. But I don't do that. And coming and having lived in Hollywood for a long time, some people don't want you to know that they're working with the trainer. But I take things with a grain of salt. My coffee creamer is not going anywhere. It's just not. Unless I learn that something super detrimental is happening, I'm gonna have my sugar-free coffee creamer because that is a treat that I like to have in the morning when I start my day. I don't do it all day long. I do it in the morning, well aware that there's some stuff in there that might not be the healthiest, but also well aware that I have 1 cup of that, and then the rest of the day my coffee is just black. So there are some things that won't go away. I work with my clients on their nutrition, and the first thing I do is I don't hand them a nutrition profile. That's not what I do. I don't just do your diet and say, here. What I do is we create a living document, and we usually do it in Google Docs, where it's a sheet where they track their nutrition. And one of the things they do is they write down what they eat. They write down the amounts they eat. We start talking about, and then at first they don't write down the amounts, they just write down what they eat, and that's okay. Then I will go in later and I'll talk to them. We have a weekly consultation, and slowly over time, that document becomes something that they learn from, because I can say, hey, you're eating this, this, and this, and this is what happens to your body when you eat these things. This is helping with their goals, this isn't helping with their goals. And then eventually, after they do a little bit of learning, then I slowly take it out of their hands, and then I start to really hone in on a nutrition plan, but we do it together and we do it in real time. I don't just hand them a diet or a nutrition plan because they don't learn anything that way. And then in doing it that way, we continue to consult. I continue to learn more about them. And if there are certain issues that they're having, I do the research on every single client, and I look at their nutrition profile. And if I say, hey, research has shown that A, B, and C is a potential problem for you. Let's maybe knock those things out and let's change it to this. What do you feel about that? And they get to make a decision on whether or not they want to pull something out of their nutrition profile based on the knowledge that I'm sharing with them. And when I say share with them, I send them to reputable places. They don't just take my word. I allow my clients to do some research on their own so that they can become knowledgeable. They don't just take my word for it. And I have to be up on my research. I have to be up on my certifications. And that is super duper important. But the number one thing is we focus on body composition first. And some people will refuse to pull things out of their nutrition profile. It is my job for them to understand that, hey, first of all, portion control is super important. The first thing that they need to learn is a calorie deficit is the number one thing that they need to learn in terms of dropping body fat. Then after they learn that that is the number one thing, then I worry about food composition, proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and understanding of that. What combinations work best for them? What's easier for them? Some people like to lean toward more of a ketogenic diet. Some people a full-on ketogenic diet. Some people vegan. Some people vegetarian. It's up to them. It's up to the client. It is up to me to develop their nutrition program around what their preferences are. And I can say, hey, research has shown A, B, C, and D. What do you think about that? And it's up to me to help guide them, but to never tell them that they're wrong. No, because as long as I focus on the calorie deficit and being healthy, that's number one. We can get into the nitty gritties. We can get into the sulfates and all that other stuff. I know that stuff. It's not rocket science. It's nutrition. That's part of my job to know. But I also know that those aren't the major things that I need to worry about when somebody comes to me and they need to lose 50 pounds of body fat. I'm not going to worry about sulfates right now. That's not the number one thing I'm going to worry about. I'm going to worry about creating a calorie deficit. I'm going to worry about getting them moving first. So yes, you can point out things in my shopping cart that you can go, oh, and I'm going to be like, don't care. I'm having my creamer because my lifestyle is 98% on point, and I'm going to have those little things because it's personal choice. And if at any time in my life I feel like I need to drop something out because of new knowledge or whatever, then I'll do that. And that's fine. I've done that with the thyroid condition. I've done that with the heart condition. But at the same time, you've got, it's you've got to have balance. You've got to have balance in even the things that you're very knowledgeable in. You've got to give people choices. And as long as people understand what's number one, and what's number one is weight-related deaths, weight-related illnesses. And while some of those other things may be important to some people, it's not for everybody. Everybody does not respond the same way to certain vegetables. Everybody doesn't respond the same way to pesticides. Everybody doesn't respond the same way to a vegan diet. Everybody does not respond the same way to a ketogenic diet. It is our job as nutritionists, trainers, and coaches to understand that and to be able to learn and articulate to our clients what's going on, and to be able to listen to what's going on with them and know to ask the right questions so that we can tailor and customize, that's redundant, I know, their nutrition and workout programs to fit them. There are no blanket statements. There are no blanket programs. And the minute that we fall into that, then we are doing cookie cutter, and that's not worth the dollars that our clients are paying us. So if we're not willing to learn and totally educate ourselves and be flexible and understand that everybody's an individual, and also to maintain choice, give people choices. Sometimes we can give a client a choice and they can find out, oh, that's not really a good choice for me, and then you take over. You give them the opportunity to actually learn and experience. So there's a fine balance between that relationship that you're building with that individual. But there's a lot of fitness pros on my page who I totally respect. There's a lot of people with a lot of knowledge. We share back and forth. I never shun anybody. I welcome as much information and knowledge as possible. We share so that we can study and become the best that we can become in terms of being able to articulate a vision of health and fitness to the people that entrust us to help them reach their fitness goals. So thank you all for participating in the shopping cart challenge. There are no wrong answers. All knowledge was valid. The way that we apply it is really what's most important. But the number one thing that I focus on, me, when anybody comes to me, is changing their body composition, getting that body fat off of their body, off of their organs, getting them to a certain level of conditioning, and then we start worrying about the other things as we move forward and go to the next level of conditioning, fitness, and health awareness. Thanks again for participating. I really, truly appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. Thanks for commenting. Jill, I hope this answers your question. If you have any more questions, send me a direct message. I'll answer your questions. And as you can see, I've got an amazing group of people who I've known for years, who have a lot of knowledge, and I love each and every one of you for participating. Get up, get out, get moving, do something good for yourself. Hang loose and stay fit, and I'll talk to you soon.